And hello, everybody. I am excited that you joined us on this Saturday night, and I'm even more excited to bring you our special guest. He is a legend. He doesn't like when I call him that, but he is rightfully deserving of that title. His career has been spanned so many years and is so diverse. That's what I think is one of the coolest things about this guy. We're going to learn a whole lot about him. Let's welcome Joe Tremaine. Hello, my friend.
Oh, Mr. Regal. And speaking of legend, the first time I was ever called a legend was by you. And it was at some event, I believe in Boston. We were sitting at Rounds, like a banquet or something. And you went on stage and you decided to talk about me. And you said, he's a legend. And whoever was at my table, I turned and said, oh, well, what a thing to call somebody. I said, I know how to spell it. O-L-D.
No,
so,
listen.
Okay. Now maybe I deserve it. I'm so old now.
You are a legend. You were a legend at that time. But I want to say something about old. I've recently discovered this word as I'm growing older. Mature. We are getting more mature.
That is right.
What do you think of that word? You agree?
Mature is a good word. I don't know that it applies to me necessarily. Because somehow it seems restraining in that I don't like to necessarily be mature all the time. I like to be crazy. So,
okay, I'm with you on that. Definitely. Mature, but young and crazy.
Crazy. In a good way.
In a good way, I'm with you. So, Joe, for our viewers who may not know your history, though I am going to ask you a whole bunch of questions about it, will you run down your career, especially in the early days?
What do you mean by how early?
I mean, when you first first started in showbiz.
In silent pictures? No. Well, I always wanted to dance. And I always have said, for me, the first three words out of my mouth, if I could remember, I would hope that there would have been dance in New York. I didn't know a whole lot about LA and that whole scene, So I always wanted New York. And that's what I did. And I just aimed that way. So, but I got a college degree and then went to New Orleans and worked and then moved to New York and started. And once I started, it was kind of wonderful hopscotching through it all. It was great. It is great.
Name some of those early jobs that were great.
Well, I first of all, being from New Orleans and all that colorful history and that wonderful music, dance training is life training. I love to dance. I love to be happy. And to me, happy is dancing. And so when I did, I got to tell you this one. I was always dancing, as a little boy. And my mother was always saying, you got to stop dancing. You got to come in here and eat. It's time to eat. And one time I was about 12 and I wheeled around. She said that to me. You got to stop dancing, stop practicing, and come and eat. And I wheeled around to her and I said, eating is stupid. Don't they have a pill or something I could take? Because I don't have time to stop. I must be dancing. And she's like, what? She was ready to kill me. Then she said, excuse me. Then she said, not a bad idea, but no, you have to come eat. So
wow.
Then we had a grocery store. I'm just going to take you on this whole journey.
I want to go back. If you want to go back, I want to go really far back. Tell me about Louisiana, little Joe.
Well, born in Bastrop, Louisiana, North Louisiana, and my parents had a grocery store, so nice sized grocery store, and I grew up in that and dancing back behind the meat counters and in the storage room with the delivery boys who were young, three of them, cousins, and LCL and Leonard, and we used to always dance when there were no customers. Excuse me. And so we'd dance to all, the music, the hottest of holes, funky music. And one time they were about 19, 20, 21 in there. And they said, boy, one of them looked at me and said, boy, you're going to be an exotic dancer when you grow up. I said, what? He said, yeah, when you grow up, you're going to be an exotic dancer. I said, great. Yeah, man. He didn't know what it meant. I didn't know what it meant, but it was fine with me because it had the word dancer. So always I wanted to dance. And now let's see, down New Orleans, the theater all in North Louisiana, all that theater in New Orleans. But I worked for the welfare department. I needed welfare, but I worked for the welfare department because I had a sociology degree and all that.
Okay, I want to ask a couple questions
Yeah,
about
sure.
that. So you went to get the sociology degree at what age?
Oh, right out of college. And my father and mother wanted me to go to college. I said no. They said yes. I went. I gave them the sheepskin the day of graduation, and the next day, some friends and I drove to New Orleans and moved there.
And so were you about 22 when you moved to New York?
What are you trying to put a timeline on this?
No, I'm just, we don't have to talk years, okay? But I'm trying to figure out how old you were when you made the leap to New York.
Probably 20, let's see, 22, 23 maybe.
What was it like for a Louisiana boy when he arrived in New York?
Well, I was happy as a lark. I was really like so excited. Trailway bus, 2 days, 2 nights. Oh, it was actually a Greyhound bus. Who cares? 2 days, 2 nights, New Orleans. Oh, and get this, and we just finished doing Guys and Dolls at Gallery Circle Theater in New Orleans. And the cast took me. You're gonna have to edit that. Sorry. They took me to the bus station that night. The cast of Guys and Dolls took me to the bus station, put me on it, sang and danced around the entire bus, danced around, and the entire bus load of people were like, "Who the hell is this guy on here? And who are these crazy people?" Sent me off to New York. A Rolls Royce to me, fine, Greyhound bus. Then I got to Sloan House YMCA. Stayed there, had to have a roommate, couldn't afford without it. Got a roommate, eventually got a roommate, and he and I are still friends to this day. And his best friend and mine, Chita Rivera, we all met then, and that was about 1963, I want to say, 63, 4.
Was the friend a dancer?
Yeah, he's a dancer. He did a lot of shows. Yeah, Earl de Martignac, Cajun.
How much money did you have in your pocket when you arrived in New York?
$300 cash. That was it.
How long till you got your first job?
Well, I don't know the first dancing job. I don't know. I cannot answer that exactly. But I, did that temporary work stuff with, keyboard and all that. So I went and did all that and making money during the day and then go to audition. And pretty soon I got a job. And the one that was really great was June Taylor Dancers. And she was choreographing a show called Mardi Gras. I'm going, I just moved from New Orleans. What's up with this? And the stars of the show were Louis Armstrong and Joel Gray, and he was just becoming a star, and all that. Big show out at Jones Beach, cast of 100. And so June, she auditioned 250 boys for that gig. And I forget how many boys she used, but I heard of us. But there was 8 of us that she told when she hired us, well, I'm gonna take these 8 of you out of here after 2 months in the show, replace you, take you to Florida, and you'll dance on the Jackie Gleason show, Jackie Gleason Live from Miami Beach every Saturday night.
I remember.
Yep, June Taylor Dancers, 16 girls. She added 8 boys. I thought, oh Lord, this is gonna be something. And it was fabulous. And I love June Taylor, and she became one of my mentors.
Okay, so you found yourself on television. You found yourself surrounded by stars. How did you feel at that point?
Well, fortunately, I had worked with a good many stars around, and what do you call it, summer stock, that sort of stuff, and including the Wicked Witch of the West. Thank you very much, Margaret Hamilton. Uh, but it was, television was amazing. I had done local television, New Orleans and so forth back in there. But this was, this was big time, and I just learned everything I could. And June was, to this day, even still, on this shoulder, on the left shoulder over here, help, helping me. One of my guardian angels is June Taylor, and on this shoulder is Chica Rivera. But when I'm working on something, doing something, working on it to see if it's going to work or not, and well, what would Cheetah think? What would June think? Would they approve of this or not? They were always my standards. So they really had amazing influence on me. But interestingly enough, I never worked with Cheetah Rivera.
Okay, but I was starstruck going to one of your events for the first time. Since then, I'm not as starstruck because you sat me at a table with Cheetah Rivera and some other stars. Um, Tell everybody about your relationship with Cheetah and how far back it goes and what that's all about.
When I first moved to New York, to New Orleans, to New York, sorry, moved to New York, I met Cheetah through Earl Lamartine, the guy I ended up being a roommate with in a one-room apartment. And I was introduced to Cheetah, and we just became closer and closer. Then her daughter, Lisa Mordente, I helped raise her, she's my baby and all that kind of stuff. So we're very, very tight for many years, because Cheetah lived out here too. And so funny because I called Cheetah the other day. I was thinking about all of this situation we're in here, this pandemic and everything. And I thought, well, I got to check on Cheetah. It had been like 5 days, and I got to check. And I called her on a particular day. She probably killed me for saying this, but she was kind of like, oh, and not be a bad mood or anything, but just kind of like, yeah, a couple of times. And when she would start that, I treat her rough. I'm like, hey, what are you doing? Shush, not allowed. No, woe is me or woe is anybody else. Everybody's in this boat together, whatever. And just treat her really rough. And we laugh and that's all we do anyway. It's just laugh. And so we have just this crazy, wonderful relationship like that. And I have the same thing with her daughter, but on a different age level. And by the way, the father, you know who the father is, who Lisa's father is?
I do
Tony,
not.
Tony Mardente from the original West Side Story on Broadway. And I forget, did he play action? I can't remember. I'll get it wrong. But anyway, and he's wonderful and terrific. So they're all my family.
I love that about you. And I love that you share all those people with so many of the people that come to your events. You bring the professional and the legend world into the studio world, and kids get a chance to experience something they don't in other places.
Exactly. Well, that's why I want to. I'm working on a list now of all the movies that I think are the numbers from musical movies that I think they should see, or it could be from a Tony Award or show or the Oscars or whatever. I'm so sorry. I think I'm hot. I know I'm hot. It's hot in here. Um, so the kids should see these particular pieces. So I'm gonna work. We're working on it right now to put it on my post it and so forth, and do it weekly probably. We think.
Okay, I want to take you back and ask you this question because we're talking during a tough time, okay, for everybody.
Whoa.
I want to ask you this. What day were you in a city? What day did you realize that Joe Tremaine's tour had to stop?
Well, we had, I don't know what number it was, about 4 or 5 since the new year. We were on city number 4, whatever it was, and it oh, it was Indianapolis, and we came back from Indianapolis late on a Sunday night, usual, and Monday got rested. Tuesday went to the office, work. Wednesday worked a little bit. Came here, had a meeting here with Terry Lindholm. You know Terry Lindholm,
Yes.
certain dancer and choreographer and everything else. Anyway, so he and I working on some projects, and we had a meeting set up for that Wednesday afternoon, and I always leave on Thursdays and fly to the city. And he came in the afternoon, and we sat down by my fireplace, and uh, we started. He said, "Well, before we start," and I could tell in his voice, I'm like, "Wait a minute." He goes, "Sir, I want to tell you something. I'll give you my opinion whether you want it or not." I said, "What's that?" He said, "You do not need to be getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning and leaving for the airport at 4 to go get a plane to Boston. You should not go to Boston." And I sat there and I was like silent. And I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "It was, whole thing with this virus." He said, you really should not." And it hit me. And I went so silent, and I'm not too often too silent. And I finally I stood up and I said, "Give me 5 minutes." And I walked into I left the living room, I walked into the den and sat by the phone in there. And about 2 or 3 minutes or 4 minutes maybe. And I called my office and I called one person and I said, "Make this happen, cover everything." And I said, "I'm not going to Boston." And Paul, my assistant, I said, "We're not going to Boston." And that was it. That was when I realized, and I haven't been out since. So it's a lot of weeks. And it really hit me though, and I'm like, "Oh my God, what do we do?" But thankfully, I don't panic. I just like, okay, the situation is here, and let's face it. And what is the best thing we could do? What options do we have? And let's talk about it and figure it out, and not start getting all, you know, askew. So, I mean, easy for me to sit here and say, but we need to do what the government is telling us. I mean, come on, distancing and everything. And I think if we do that, then we're going to get it. As they say, we are all in this together. And, they're going to get a handle on it. God only knows when. And that's the crazy part of it, is that like the uncertainty of everything now. When can we open up? How many people can we have? Can we 10? Can we have 20? Can we have 500? All that stuff. So, but I'm one of these. I do not speculate. I put down options that possibly could happen, but I don't spend my time trying to speculate. I don't know when this is going to happen, and that's going to happen. But if it did, we have everything in alignment. Hopefully, that's what we spend our time on now, getting everything in alignment. We are proceeding as if all of our summer cities are a go. We do 4 summer cities. One of them includes the Nationals. And then we start back the end of October for the national tour. By the way, the 40th annual tour starts next October, the end of October.
Boy, if you can pull that off or a part of that, what a big celebration it's going to be.
I'm telling you, I can't wait to be there myself for that. Yes, let's do it. But it's an unfortunate thing, and I wish only the best for everybody. My God. And
So
go ahead.
I want to ask you this question. I see you saying you're moving forward, you're thinking positive. You know, a lot of our viewers are teachers, studio owners, and they're on a roller coaster. What do you say to them to keep them up and going, my friend?
Well, I wish I had magic answers, but I don't. I think that they certainly should um, check on all of the possible small business loans, because that's coming through now to some degree, because it was a mess and then it's better the last I heard yesterday. That sort of stuff. And of course, the business manager or somebody's got to tell them how to do all that stuff. I mean, in unemployment too, because we had to lay off, furlough, or whatever we call it, for people for a few weeks. Um, but I think that they just try to keep up with everything that's going on, we are on a conference call weekly with convention owners, and we discuss everything and talk about everything and try to, do the right thing and figure it out. And the same with them. God only knows. Nobody has a magic answer. I wish to God we did. But that's a time also, it's a chance for teachers to, first of all, I say get up, get dressed every day, you know, have a purpose, check on people, check on all your people. That's what I was going to say. Like, for instance, I hadn't talked to Cheetah in a few days the other day, and I called her. That call was the best medicine for her. And I could tell, it was the best medicine for her of all. And now I don't, this damn phone.
Don't you worry about it.
I wouldn't answer it anyway. Uh, no, I don't know who it is. Anyway, but it's a time for dance teachers. I mean, you got time. Get up every day, have a purpose, have a goal, and do that. Allow a little bit of time, whether you're doing lessons plans, music research. I mean, I would love to have the kind of time that we have now. To look, chase music, look at for it all over, play with it. Some of these musicals that I'm talking about watching, the kids need to learn too. Get ideas. What else? Just reorganize new programs and everything. I've lost you. You're not here. I'm.
I'm
Oh,
here. I kind of look at this, Joe, as a time to re-energize our creativity. Like we all say, I wish I had time for this, and we got it. What do you think of that?
you got time. You better use it. Time is precious. That's all we got. Actually, is time. So now is the time to use your time wisely. Easy to say again.
So now, Joe, we're going off this COVID time, and I want to say, what was the moment? And I know you're gonna say I'm still working on it because you're a humble man. But what was a moment in your career where you said, "Okay, this was worth it. I made it," or "I feel good"?
It's a hell of a question.
Well,
Uh,
I'll take that as a compliment.
well, it's a great question too. I don't know. Just sometime in the past few months, something happened to me where I don't know. It just was like, okay, it's okay. Oh, I know we've been dealing with some options, so to speak. And I go, well, if I do this, if I did that, that would be okay. This would be okay. I am who I am. I've done what I've done. I've had a good time doing it. And I want to continue doing it all as much as possible. And in fact, now people are like, oh my God, it must be terrible that you're stuck up there in the mountain, for weeks. No, it's fabulous. It's wonderful. I have beautiful, wonderful dogs, better than a lot of people I know. Oh, and so, you know, I'm happy up here, but now I'm like, okay, I think it was last week, about a week ago, I went, wait a minute. And whoever was with me, Paul, I guess, and I went, damn, all I want is an SUV, an airport, an airplane, a hotel, and a stage. Otherwise, I'm going to kill somebody right here, right now. That got to me finally a week ago.
Did they set that up in the backyard by the pool for you, or no?
Of course. Of course.
I understand that. It's all show business, whether it's your convention or when you're dancing or we're dancing. It's all show business. And you are that guy who proves that.
Yeah, it really is also business. And your mic's out again, I believe.
Tell our viewers about a mentor or somebody that had a big impact on your life, helped
Well,
you.
it's very simple. Very, very simple. the guy that changed my life. So I had finished, so I took the bus up to New York, did all that stuff, worked all around, worked the city, etc. And then got the June Taylor stuff and the Jackie Gleason show. Came back from the Gleason show, had still had my apartment in New York. Found out the next day there was an audition for dancers, and I didn't know it was for some European star, Katrina Valente, huge star, very rich too. Uh, and she, Nick Castle, the old choreographer Nick Castle, did Judy Garland stuff, did the Nicholas Brothers. Hello, the Nicholas Brothers. Uh, they, watch Nick Castle stuff. And Nick was having an audition, and all my friends that I hadn't seen in several months because I've been in Orlando with the Jackie Gleason show, and they said, "Hey, I stopped by Variety Art Studios for the audition," and I'm like, "I don't want to go." They said, "You better go in that room. He's auditioning, and he's looking for you. You're the type person he wants." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I went in the dressing room, threw on my dance clothes, went in there. 2 hours later, I was at the top of the old Americana Hotel in New York, signing the contracts to go to Amsterdam to tape this series of TV specials starring Caterina Valente on location. We danced through the tulips in the flower market. We got in boats, rub-a-dub-dub, in the boats up and down the canals. We danced on the airplane wings at the airport there. She was so rich and just buy everything, and we'd film all over it, And was the first, really, and the first day of rehearsal, after rehearsal, at lunch, we came back and Nick Castle said, "Hey, Tremaine, I want to see you after lunch today. I mean, don't leave today after the rehearsal. Stay. We want to talk to you." I thought, oh my God, he hates me. He's going to fire me and send me back to America. Oh God, woe is me, right? So I stayed, everybody left, and he and his assistant sat me down and they said, "We're going to be doing the Jerry Lewis TV variety show at downtown Burbank, NBC. It'll run at least a year, 30-something shows. Will you come? There'll be 4 boy dancers. You'll be the lead boy, and there'll be 4 girls." I said, my bags are packed. I got up. I went to the hotel, called Early Martinet and Cheetah in New York, and said, "I'm moving. See you." And that's how my life started. Then I came out here, did 2 years on that. And Nick Castle was one of the sweetest, nicest men ever, and talented. And he got me jobs everywhere and everything. He was wonderful. And between him and Jerry Lewis became a good friend and a mentor to me and helped me get lots of things going. Fabulous man. Some people don't like him. He's fabulous.
Tell us, I'm going to dig a little deeper on that. How did you and Jerry Lewis connect? How did your friendship evolve?
Because he was always in rehearsal, right? And in the rehearsal room, and because he was always in the numbers. So he was constantly there. Unlike Dean Martin, who was doing a variety show across the hall, literally like 15 feet from us. And Dean never came to rehearsal, but Jerry was always at rehearsal. And Jerry loved me because if you're halfway funny, I'm there waiting on you for the laugh, right? I will laugh for you if you're halfway funny. And Jerry was more than, he would make me pee laughing. He was so great, just great.
Wow,
And
I love that.
he helped me put together my nightclub act. Oh, my nightclub act. Oh, speaking of pictures, can you see that?
Hold it up a little higher and cover your face for a second with it. Yeah, now we see it.
And that was our act. That Jerry introduced us to a club in Beverly Hills called, the hell was it called? The Factory. Introduced us, and sent out invitations inviting everybody. So he wanted to help pay for the act and do all that. He wanted to loan me the money, but I wouldn't do that. And anyway, so Jerry was my mentor.
I love it. I didn't expect that for an answer. I'm going somewhere else with you. Where was the first dance convention you ever taught on?
Oh, okay. Let's take it one step back. I remember the first dance convention and only one that I ever went to as a student, you know.
Can you come forward a little?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
My I went to, I believe it was Danny Hocker's. It was at the Adolphus Hotel in Dallas. And my dance teacher took six of us, three boys, three girls, and we competed or performed or something. Walk in, my baby back home, got them, you know, cab number, all that. And it was the first and only one. I remember the teachers, however, being Betty Hocker and Danny Hocker and Al Gilbert, and I couldn't remember the jazz teacher. And so years ago, I asked Al Gilbert late at night on an airplane. I go, Al, who was that dance teacher that taught jazz? And I said, 19 blah blah, way back. He said, oh, Brownie Brown. I said, is she still alive? Yes, alive, kicking, and lives in Hawaii. I'm like, okay, you want to know? You got the answer right there. So that was the only one I ever went to. I don't know which one was the first one I ever taught on.
Do you remember the early days of teaching? Was it dance educators, dance
I did
masters?
all Texas Association Teachers of Dance, TATD or whatever that was, everything, DEA, DMA, I don't know, on and on.
I remember taking a class from you. It was New York. I think it was the Roosevelt, but I'm not sure. You wore this striped shirt, red stripes, half top. I think red pants.
Oh, I don't know. I was feeling like a fireman that day. I don't know. Red. How about it wasn't that's red arms and there.
There you go. That's your brand. Hold that a little higher. Bring it up a little. Yeah, Joe Tremaine.
That's the logo. Well, you know what this was? This is Debbie Reynolds' studio, where everybody rehearsed and all that out there in Van Nuys, North Hollywood. And I was there in Studio D, her big studio where she rehearsed, where Thriller was born, rehearsed right there and so forth. And I was conducting an audition for Professional Dancers Societies. And we auditioned in 2 days. We auditioned 750 kids who were needy kids, who, you know, scholarship kids. And so we auditioned there. And sitting at the judges' table, when I turned and kicked, and laying on the floor was a photographer, and he snapped that. But sitting at the judges' table was Debbie Reynolds, Mitzi Gaynor, George Chikaris, on and on. What's her name? Sid Charisse, etc. Juliet Krause. They were all the judges, and I turned around and showed him my crotch, and he took a picture and called me the next day and said, "I have a great picture of you." And I said, "Can I have it for my logo?" He said, "Yes," and that's how that was done.
Really?
Yeah, crazy, crazy.
What year was your first event?
What do you mean, the first Tremaine dance commission?
Yeah.
I believe 81. Is that right? Somebody knows. I got the history book right here, but do I know? I think it's 1981.
And what was that year like? Was it a success, or did you have to work your butt off? Did it take a while to grow?
No. Where people came right away, but the very easy reason for that, because I was so brilliant and wonderful. Yeah, right. No, I fooled them. No, I had been all over this country. I had taught for DMA, DEA, all those, you know, the small ones, the big ones, and everything for years. So I had made a name, kind of, whatever you want. And so they knew who I was when I took out the ads and said, "What they came to see." Everybody curious, you know. And that's how Tremaine was born.
And in the early days, it was more, or I'll say it this way, less elaborate. Would you say you would
Oh,
go into a room and kids just took class and they'd be excited, or teachers just took class and they were excited?
exactly. But boy, it's crazy. It's a whole crazy world. Yeah, different. By the way, how about gratitude? We talked about that a little bit.
Yes.
I just remembered, and this book, I got it back in, I don't know, November, October, November. A teacher, yeah, a dance teacher, came to me and gave me this book, and I knew her mother, know her mother. I knew her, all that. And it was all about gratitude. And the other day, I was sitting here thinking about, God, I have so many friends, and I'm so lucky, and all that. And I saw this book. It was laying here, and I went, oh my God, that's the one that Tammy gave me. And she does about 4 or 5 pages on me. But the end of the book, the end of my little section, she says, to sum it all up, she kind of recaps and says, and I'm beyond grateful for the changing, life-changing gift of dance, energy, and enthusiasm that Mr. Joe Tremaine brought into my life, along with the entire dance world. He is truly a legend. There's that word again. He's truly a legend, and his mark will never leave the dance world. And I picked that up the other day when I was thinking about gratitude, and I went, boy, I better get on my hands and knees and give gratitude and make some phone calls and do all that stuff that we were talking about, you know.
Wow, Joe. Are you able to take that in and appreciate it, or do you feel like you got to move on to the next thing?
Uh, that you just said, you feel like you got to move on to the next thing. That's the story of my life. I That's the mold I was cut out of. Like, okay, let's go, let's do this. Okay, we did that, great. Next, okay, on and on and on. And that's how I still feel now. Unfortunately, my body does not always cooperate. it, it tells me it will do only certain things on certain days. But I fight back like a son of a gun.
I love that. Joe, I know how important your dogs are to you. Tell everybody about your dogs.
Oh my, well, yeah, I'm just a dog freak. I grew up with dogs and horses and all that stuff. Even rode horses in the parades. But see, I thought everything was a costume. You know, when my brother was 4 years older and my mother got him a little Cub Scout outfit, I said to my mother, I want that. And she got me one, and I said, now what dance do we do it? Right? So then my brother did the baseball uniform. I said, oh, I like that. I want that. What dance there? I wanted to know what dance everything was, supposed to be done to. And uh, so I always had the dogs, and now this is my 1, 2, 3, 4, I believe the fifth or sixth curly coated retriever. Very
And
rare.
what made you fall in love with that particular dog?
Well, I watch dog shows a little bit, not a whole lot, but to some degree. But I have dog books, zillions of dog books, gazillions. And I saw this pictures of them one day, and I went, "What the heck is that?" And then I started studying them, and I go, "I have to have." And the first one I ever got, love, 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 unbelievable. And then I got two, and now I've had two forever. You know, about six now, I believe. They're just fabulous. Tight curls, tight mass curls, and here on the forehead is all smooth hair.
I would love you to bring them on in a
Oh, and
second.
let me see
Wait,
what.
though. Wait. I want to ask you one last question before
Yeah.
you bring them on. Joe Tremaine, tell everybody something about yourself that's non-dance related that would surprise them about Joe Tremaine.
Good God. I don't know how to do anything else but dance. I'm not so sure of that. Um,
What are you into?
Dogs, watching dogs, more dogs. I'd love to have a herd of dogs. Pack, I guess is a better word. Herds or cows or something. Um, yeah, I'm happy. I just want to get out and see and do and keep going.
All right.
Where's the Where's the damn stage? That's my question. Where are the lights? Where's the stage? Let's go.
I love you, my friend. Let's bring on the dogs.
Yeah, okay. Boo, Gumbo. Hi. Look. Hi. Where does the camera have to be? Oh, this is Boo. Boo Dan.
Have him come up on your lap.
Yeah. Gumbo will come up. This is Gumbo. That's called liver color. It's a brown, reddish brown. And this one is Black, black, black. No, I love you. Oh, I love you. Did you guys go swimming? That's why you left. You went swimming. You have fun. Hollywood dogs.
I love them. Do they swim every day, Joe?
Oh, and they would spend the day and night in the pool if you let them. Yeah, they're
Really?
water dogs. Water dogs.
Wow. Okay, I love it. Everybody's going to love this. Joe,
Good, good, good. Well, I just wish everybody, again, we're all in this together, and stay focused and do a little bit of work every day. And, we're in the step business, so to speak, one step at a time, keep them small and make them bigger. And we can step back on into this world of dance. I love you, Mr. Rigo, and your brilliant mother, who's passed on, of course. I loved her, Miss Sherry Gold, and your brother, Rennie Gold. I love the whole damn Gold family. Kind of golden.
oh, my friend, that means so much to me. I need you to know that you're one of my idols. I respect you. I'm a guy who looks to those who set up the path for us, and even those that are younger than me, and you are one of those people.
I love you. Thank you so much. Be safe and happy and healthy.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We love you. We'll see you Monday night with another broadcast.